Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another LP Alliance Solidarity stream. We are LP Alliance, an Intercaucus coalition, rebuilding the Libertarian Party and revolutionizing the liberty movement. My name is Amanda Griffiths. I'm joined by Kyle Davis. We are joined by Tim Krenz of the Sepia Club and former chair of the Libertarian Party of Wisconsin. Tim, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
For those who don't know a little bit about your history, can you give us a rundown of who you are, your history, and the LP, what you're doing now?
Okay, I joined the Libertarian Party in 1992 when I was in college, and I've been probably an off-on member ever since, but I've been very active in the state party and in local affiliates. 1993, I started working on a project called Sepia, which was at the time Community Ending Public Ignorance and Apathy, and then we formed the Sepia Club in 1995. So it's been 30 years this April since we've been in existence. It's it's a club for intelligent thought and action for change, peaceful, nonviolent ideas on bringing people together to look at things realistically and come up with common sense solutions that are entirely libertarian based, primarily without aggressing on people or stealing from them, right? So I did take I worked on both the LP, WI, and Sepia Club since then. Took a little political vacation in 2015, came back after COVID. Somehow I got the bad idea of running for vice chair a few years ago, and I was elevated to the acting chair position, let's see, in June of 2024, and I served out the rest of my term as the acting chair and was hopefully good enough to keep the party together and moving forward, and back at Sepia Club now and still helping the Libertarian Party.
Wonderful. Reese is telling us that you are a legend. Reese Wood, current chair of the Libertarian Party of Wisconsin, so we should trust him.
Thank you, Reese. Thank you, Reese.
No, feel outnumbered by all the Wisconsinites right now.
Oh, there are going to be a lot. Hopefully, there'll be a lot of Wisconsin people in the chat. You are here in part because you presented us with a really, really innovative and intriguing idea for how to put the Libertarian Party on the map, as well as make some real change in the nation. And I believe you're calling this the Libertarian Party Amendments Project. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
And tell us about that. We do have the document that we can share on screen, but what prompted this and what is this exactly?
Well, the Amendments Project is a way of, first of all, unifying the party behind a focus that will hopefully bring us success. Mm-hmm. And that's the grand objective. Our mission statement of the party I thought should be, and still think should be, to set the world free and implement the platform and its principles, but do so with the mission objective of the project of creating constitutional amendments in a process where we get libertarian principles rewritten into the Constitution through the means of Article 5 of the Constitution, which provides for an amendment process. So basically, it the federal government right now is a dictatorship. It doesn't matter who's in the office of president, doesn't matter who is in control of Congress. It's a dictatorship that's dictating to states and individuals their rights. And we see these creeping up more and more and infringing on more and more as we go along. And they will only do so till they have complete control. And there's no longer any sense of proportion and balance between what we used to call federalism and what they intended to be federalism, which is shared powers. So what the Amendment Project does is let's undermine that authority by going directly to the source of their power and amending it and changing it, and using the instruments that we have available to us to do so. For example, there are certain amendments which I think a lot of people would love to see, both in the party and as coalition and allies and supporters and members who might not join the party but would still vote for it and help us, I believe. And these amendments were like term limits, balanced budget amendment, War Powers Act limitations, enumerated powers, judicial elections. And you can think of any of these that are very popular now that could be easily done if we had the support and the organization behind us. So it's just a way of, if you're confronted with a system that's rigged against you, change the system, rewrite the rules. That's the essence of it.
Very cool. So, do you have any other intro questions here, Amanda? Or do you want to?
No,
jump
I
into
was
okay.
queuing it up to you, so you started talking, so I was going to let you keep talking.
All right, then I'm going to pull CPA Club's Libertarian Party Amendments Project document up here, and we'll kind of work our way through it and talk our way through it. I'm going to have to zoom in. Some of the chat has old eyes and small monitors. I'm just going to judge through and all the way, chat.
Can I ask us? Sorry, go on, Tim.
I was going to say, I'm open to questions.
Yeah, I was going to say, what prompted you to take this tack exactly? Because there are a lot of projects that have been proposed over the years for rendering the Libertarian Party relevant. Some more valid, some less so. What made you think about going this route, and why is this appealing to you?
Familiar with the tale of the Gordian knot?
Yeah.
Right. I'll just recap for some of the audience. When confronted with something that you can't untie, take out a sword and cut it apart. That's what this does. It breaks a log jam holding us back as a party and as all third parties and as voters themselves from seeing the type of change they want. So if we're going to unravel this whole system of government the way it's rigged against our party and against the people themselves who want liberty and freedom and the things that that they identify with us and that we want to work for them, it just made sense to go straight to the source. If you can't get through the wall, break it down or go around it. But this is a way of both subverting the system and using the system against itself in the best way possible, which can be peaceful and nonviolent, which was key. There's still avenues for voting and participation and democracy in this whole process, and that's libertarian enough, I think, that it just made more sense than trying to do small things that weren't going to be very effective. Think big.
Absolutely.
So Amanda and I are known for reading through documents on here. So if you'd like, we can run through this and talk about sections.
We will not do the funny voices, but we can run through the document, yes.
So executive summary. Proposed mission of the Libertarian Party in the United States to set the world free by, first, implementing the Libertarian Party platform and its principles into the public and non-public affairs of the United States. Amendments project objective. To unite the Libertarian Party and all of its affiliates and allies with a focused multi-year effort aiming to significantly amend, change, and or significantly revise the federal document known as the Constitution of the United States in order to achieve the proposed mission, see above.
So right away, this is going to take some significant coalition building. This is not something that, a party of, I don't know how many we're down to, not very many people. It's 7,500 people.
9,700, including the...
Okay, that's higher than I thought.
Well, that's including the lifetimers.
And this gives us the opportunity. This gives us the opportunity to grow, I think, behind this effort, and it also allows us to play edges and volume. And as we'll see later in the points, it allows us to play margins in states where we don't need millions of votes. Maybe we need 100,000 votes to help make this initiative possible by cooperating with third parties where they are, or Democrats where they want to see this, or Republicans where they want to see this happen, voters or legislators. There's a lot we can do with other people and to help ourselves in this situation to get to this ideal where I think we can go. So it's not just us; it helps us grow and do our own thing, but it also opens the possibility to more people thinking, yes, this is a good idea. Yes, we need to get behind this, and in those states that are vulnerable to where there's an open space where we can insert ourselves, we can swing that margin and make that happen. As we see by Amendment 5, there's you don't need 100 senators to make this happen. You don't need 435 congressmen. You need 33 states to call for a convention to write the amendments that we would like to see as a Libertarian Party, whatever they may be in the final form. And states can it will be determined whether the amendments are ratified by state legislators or state conventions. And there's a lot of variables in play that if as a party, if you play it right, you can benefit from it. Even if they fail, you still benefit.
So the
Totally.
idea is to have a convention of states, essentially, to have those 33 states, target them, and call for a constitutional convention. Is that correct?
Right. Which, if any of the amendments that are passed by the 3/4 of the legislators or state conventions as ratification bodies, it would then be enforced in the Constitution, and there's no veto. It
This is
cannot
some,
be vetoed.
sorry. This is something that when you presented it to me and Kyle, I think we were both very excited by immediately, because we will talk often about how we need radical revolutionary change, not just in this party, but in this country. But ideally, we would not like it to be, we would not like violent revolution. We do not want violence. And so to have a plan for truly upending the dictatorial state of things, the authoritarian state of things that does not require any of that is still on the same scale, is really marvelous. And this is the sort of thing that I hope that we can continue to talk with you about, because implementing it, I think, at the national level and then at the state level is going to take a lot of work, and it's going to take the right people in the right places.
Right, and it's a matter of leadership.
Mhm.
The key to any organization is leadership. I'm sorry, that has always been true, and will always be true in a situation like ours, right to the end. It's just the people that are willing to do it. Who I'm willing to work for it. It's a free idea. Anybody that wants to take it up can do it. But it also brings leadership, and it brings mass. If it catches on, it's a mass idea, and there's a lot of support behind it, and it helps the party and hurts little if we have more people involved.
Mhm.
That's one of the things we talked about before in the solidarity streams, is that the leaders of the movement aren't elected. They are the people who are actually doing the work and are moving. And that's something that I think is almost antithetical to what's drilled into everyone's heads, like in public schooling, etc. The teacher is in charge because the teacher's at the front of the room and they are telling you they're in charge. The president is in charge because they are in the office of the president, etc. And at the end of the day, leaders are the people who lead, right? They're the ones who
Yeah,
are these first movers who are actually getting the work done. So we're
it was
very
instructed to
excited
me.
about this.
It was instructed to me. Sorry, it was instructed to me. My college professor, who's still a friend of mine, even though he's 96, all these years later, he taught me very young in college. He says, Tim, there's two types of people in politics. They're the people that show up on the day that everyone's there with the congressman taking pictures on stage, doing all that. But he says the real people that get stuff done are parking cars, setting out chairs, putting out the literature, cleaning up afterwards, getting the coffee, cake, everything in order. Those are the people that make politics work, and those are the people you look to get stuff done, not the people shaking hands on stage in front of cameras, because they don't do much. It's the people that actually dig their hands in deep, and those are the people you need. And that was and the type of people I recruited in the Sepia Club. The people that
Very cool.
actually to dig into it.
You go on and you talk about some amendments that you think would be particularly germane and particularly have a particular amount of impact. You say, by amendments, while keeping to the sound simplicity of most of the document, the process could help restore the true federal nature of shared powers back into the governing of the United States, the central government, the states, the people themselves, and possibly additional entities under new arrangements. I like that. Such amendments working to significantly accomplish the project objective could include the following: term limits, balanced budgeting, war powers limitations, prohibiting income taxes, defined government revenues, campaign and campaign finance rules or no rules, or enumerated powers. Let's talk through some and or all of these. Why did you concentrate on these, first of all?
Well, these were just samples that I picked out that seemed the most popular over the years, with a lot of people, like term limits, balanced budget.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about them for decades, right? What actually has been taken by Congress? None. What actually has been taken by Congress by the legislatures or anybody proposing amendment? None. So these are the things that I think voters will get behind. Some are quite right with our libertarian platform, prohibiting income taxes. Define government revenues, like saying what you can draw from, what you can't. Campaign finance and rules or no rules, those are issues that are popular with a certain segment of society over the Citizens United controversy. So we can find common cause with a lot of people on those as well. Enumerated powers, that was a Ron Paul original from the early 90s, late 90s. Let's find where the Constitution says you can do something and let's enumerate it. So let's put that in our Constitution that if you want to make a law, you find out where it's justified and describe where that justification works from the Constitution. And you could add other things. Maybe judicial elections might be another one. Or there may be more that amendments that some want to see, or maybe a completely different document in the end. We don't know, or something that keeps the best of the old and works out the worst that we've had, or defines a little with just as much simplicity, but with more clarification on what Congress can do. The imperial overreach, the dictatorship of the bureaucrats. However, these are written by conventions, which have to be written by people in meeting at these rallies, where they're going to basically decide the future of the country. It's up to them to define the language, but these are popular ideas. Let's grab onto them and let's find some low hanging fruit where we can find support.
One thing that we talk about a lot when it comes to successful activism is needing to have a set of concrete objectives, right? You are demanding something very specific. And this does it. This is another reason why this idea is so good, is that you're laying it out there. Term limits, balanced budgeting, war powers, limitations. It's very, very clear what you're working toward here. I think one question that will inevitably come up from some people is, if we're getting this coalition of individuals to help write these amendments and amend the Constitution, how do we make sure that they're the right people, right? If you will. So how do we make sure that these aren't people who are just going to come in and introduce another flavor of authoritarianism? Obviously, there would need to be some vetting involved or some foreknowledge of who's going to be in that room.
The wonderful thing about democracy is, and the truism I found out in politics, which I've learned, outwork them. Just do the work, and the results will show. You can't control everybody, but you can influence a lot of ways that these are happening. The best ideas prevail, right? The light of truth will expose all errors, and right answers will surface when the truth will come about at the end, that yes, this is the right thing. And a lot of it can be based on fact-based legislation too. This didn't work, but we know statistically that this can, and appeal to people's reason. I mean, we have a lot of emotion in this country, and there's not a whole lot of dispassionate thought about what the realism that's needed in approaching government. And numbers can tell certain stories that can instruct us in a whole lot of ways. Count the votes, get the people there. It's no different. It's politics. It's building relationships with people.
To give a example from like this previous presidential election, it looks like 31, maybe 32. I was quickly counting on my own. States were Republican, and you only need 33 to call a constitutional convention. So we're not even that far off on this one, especially given that some of the states were very, very close otherwise.
And not all those 31, what'd you say, 31, 32 states. There's, you think what's solidly Republican, what's solidly Democrat. There's maybe a dozen or more in the middle that could go either way, where libertarians could make that margin, and a margin of great effect in that swing of the electorate. Insert ourselves.
For 2020, it was 26 blue, 24 red. It looked like. And then, so it's very close, right? Getting to 33 is definitely not something that's like an unreachable goal, where a lot of folks do see getting the presidency right now as an unreachable goal. So I legitimately think this is brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity here. And the thing about if we have solid Democrats that are against something, but for it, solid Republicans that are against something or for it, we can work both sides of that aisle, insert ourselves in those middle parts where we can make the balance of interest or the balance of power in those legislators are favored toward these amendments and what we're trying to do. And it may be, like I said, a state may only need 100,000 votes to switch the entire realm around from a no to a yes. In some state, maybe a half dozen states or a dozen states, a few million votes could make. More research is needed, of course, but it's easier than winning a presidential race.
Right. Especially there are things on here that should get states from both sides excited, like war powers limitations. One of the things the Republicans have been running on has been their claim of defend the guard, and the Democrats have been saying that they would never abuse war powers. So it kind of puts people in a place where that's what the people are saying they want. And so you can use that to basically, destroy a governor race otherwise, right? It's like either you're going to play ball and do this the right way, or your people are going to remove you because you're going to be caught out lying during your race.
Make them prove it. Call them out. That's one thing we don't do enough of with elected officials, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Call them out and hold them accountable. And how we hold them accountable? Well, term limits, if that's the thing, right? We hold that up. If they don't, all these things, hold voters holding our elected officials accountable needs to happen more often. Maybe there's a voter office holder accountability clause or amendment that's necessary. Who knows?
Another thing that is fantastic about this is that we have often talked about how right now the LNC is simultaneously too strong and too weak, that there is a lot of siloing, and then states are sort of left to their own devices to figure things out. With this project, you are specifically articulating that a lot of the work is going to be done at the state level, but it is a singular project that the entire party is working on, not to the exclusion of other initiatives, of course, but that this is a mission that we all have together, and yet every state is responsible for figuring out what its role is and performing that role with the assistance of others. So that's a really fantastic way, I think, to merge the national and state objectives that our party has or should have.
Yeah,
it's a simple operations order. This is our goal. Let's figure out. Everybody can figure out how we get there. Below that, kind of like we have a mission. People are just allowed to figure out how to reach it on their own at their state and local affiliate with some guidance and support from others across the borders of the state or from the central LNC down. And another thing you said, Amanda, was very critical. It's just it's a clear concept that it does provide the singular goal, but it also helps us do other things along with it. It helps ballot access initiatives, grow party with this initiative, easier to get ballot access, and a lot of things can piggyback on it with the overriding aim that this is our goal and this is what we'll use those other initiatives to get there.
Right. You walk through several reasons that you think that this is likely to be a successful project. You talk about the support that a 3 to 5 year amendment campaign could have among non-voters, among independents, and this is what's really wonderful too. Is I get in trouble sometimes because we talk about how the party should be member centric, and I think sometimes that sounds like we shouldn't run candidates, which is not what I'm saying. But there is certainly, I think, there's been an extreme all or nothing kind of focus on the candidate has to be everything about the party. It's only about running candidates and winning these elections. This is decidedly a political project. It is a huge political initiative that can really galvanize unprecedented support and media attention for the Libertarian Party. Of we're the ones behind this initiative, without just throwing, putting all of our stock in one particular individual who's going to evangelize libertarianism to the masses. Instead, it's very localized, it's very individualized, and it's member driven. That this is something that says, well, no, we shouldn't be glorifying the leaders too much. In fact, we should be putting some limits on their power and making ourselves the leaders, lifting ourselves up. And then we have this document that will help us do it. It has the potential to be a very high agency moment for American citizens. And we've been lacking in those. It's
an opportunity for all of us as a country to finally figure it out. And if the Libertarian Party is leading it, it hopefully will regain, help us grow the party and implement that platform. Where we take it from here, it's just if we do this as a party, if the party gets behind it, I will work on it. I hope I have the support going forward. We have to hold ourselves accountable too. Keep our eye on the prize, perform, produce, and succeed. And the 3 to 5 year amendment campaign, it's with modern communications, you could actually condense that if things are desperate enough and people are motivated enough, you could do this in a time frame of 2 to 3 years. Probably too quick. I use 3 to 5 as just medium term. It gets us past the next presidential election. It also has a sense of urgency about it, that we can do this. It's practical to do this, because in 1789, all the ratifications of the first 9 states were received to implement the first elections by the end of the year. So, the new Constitution. They did that in 9 months. Let's see what this country can do with the internet in a couple of years. I think we can outperform that if it takes hold and if we do this.
Absolutely true. This is so in my mind, like there's been this giant argument over, and Amanda's already kind of talked about this to some degree here, but there's been this argument over if we need to do ground up or top down, or do we focus on a presidential candidate or anything else? And Amanda's lots of times pointed out that we have to do some activism because it's the only way we're ever going to get candidates in the first place. There's no winning candidates without activism for those candidates to be known and everything else. This is a way to show everybody, not only does the Libertarian Party have power, Libertarian Party can make major sweeping changes across the country. And if we can make major sweeping changes across the country, especially to the Constitution, suddenly they have to at least consider us for candidacy, campaigns, I guess is how I should be saying this. That to me is such a huge thing. This is an opportunity to legitimately supercharge everything the party is doing and blow this up.
We have so many people who are libertarians who don't vote, and so many non-voters, period, who are like, voting is rigged. It's a two-party system, as always will be. My vote only has so much effect. With an actual convention of states that is people-driven, right? And I mean, so when I was in undergrad, I read, I think it was Howard Zinn's Constitution Cafe. And of course, it's a very, very romantic vision of like, what would it actually look like if the people were to amend the Constitution? But it's a cute idea. And this actually makes it real in a much more tangible way, and in a way that's beneficial to us, that doesn't rely on us, that doesn't put so much stock in making sure that we recruit enough people to get out and get 3% of the vote, right? And a lot of those people that we're trying to recruit aren't even going to show up because they don't believe in voting anyhow. This is another way for the people to assert their agency, which is in fact much more direct. And I think for that reason, much less talked about because it's much scarier to people in power.
Because it doesn't depend on the government doing it. The federal government does not depend on Congress to do it. Congress will do nothing about it until they're forced to. And something that Kyle said, which ties into what you said, Amanda, ground up or top down. I think we need both. We have to go from both directions and meet in that middle there. Uh, and then it's also when you talk about agency for people, whether they're party members or not, I think people will buy into this and want to be part of it and understand. Hey, we can do something change here. Let's see what these libertarians are doing, and let's support them with a vote to a delegation ratification or a vote to the legislators to get the amendments passed. However, it works out. And my hope is it brings back members who have lapsed from the party for the last 30 years since I've been in. Might be a way to say, all right, we have a plan. I'm going to rejoin after 20 years of not being a party member or an activist. Help us grow our party and our resources. Just get people more actively involved in the party. And like you said, Kyle, activism from the bottom up and leadership top down, both ways. That's how you build a party.
Absolutely.
And then this gives them an idea to join. It gives them a reason.
Right. I have to ask how this occurred to you at all, because it's one of those things that it sounds so obvious when you hear it, and then I didn't think about it. I didn't think of it. You did. So how did this come into your head?
Well, I was reading some debates on the Constitution. Reading the second volume now. It's an American Library of America. This is the volume 2. It's a really good. Both these books are really good discussions of the people's view. Not just the Federalist Papers were the only ones that discussed whether or not to approve and ratify the original Constitution. And I was just reading through this, and I'm like, this debate needs to happen now. We need to discuss these things again in that format, in that spirit. Well, in the same context of where are we going with this now? It's been 236 years. We've had this government. Maybe we can tweak it a little bit in the way that they did. And one of the things that in understanding the history of the early republic, we had the Articles of Confederation. They were in force for 9 years. In 1787, they weren't working very well. So the original convention that met in Philadelphia, there was a previous meeting in Annapolis the year before, but they met in Philadelphia to revise the Articles of Confederation to make it work better. But what they did was they created something entirely new. And that's where I got the idea, well, maybe it's time. Yeah. It's Doc Brown falling off the toilet in the movie Back to the Future, right? He creates the flux capacitor. It just happens. Just popped in my head.
We've been looking for a solution for so long. Again, talking about activism and talking about uniting these disparate threads of discontent that have been mounting in the United States over the past decade or so, right? So we've seen all of these social movements kind of crop up and then maybe have some sideways effect and go away, and then another movement comes up, and sometimes they're antithetical, or sometimes they're partisan. They're split on partisan lines. You have Black Lives Matter. You had the COVID lockdown protests. Recently, you had No Kings, which is a little bit more eclectic in terms of its composition. You've had you had the Women's March. You have March for Our Lives. All of these protest movements that have not gone very far because they've kind of been lacking in an end goal specifically. A lot of times they'll get swallowed up by lobbies. This is an excellent outlet that allows us to mobilize that mass discontent in a way that is in service of libertarian principles, and that also has an effectual outcome, right? So it's not just shouting in the streets, it's let's go in, let's write some amendments, let's work on improving our nation together. It is an incredible campaign and certain to get attention for that reason alone. But yeah, it's also just a wonderful way to take this fervor that we've seen and actually mobilize it, actually operationalize it, and do something with it. I guess I'm curious, because this is an ambitious project, what do you see as potential roadblocks as well?
Our own party, unifying behind it. Because we talk about dissension of the country, that's our party at the moment, the last decade, right? That's where we're at. But maybe the idea will help unify it, and that's my hope. That's, again, the two objectives: implement the platform and unite the party. That's where I want this to go for the Libertarian Party. Lifelong Libertarian. I want to see it succeed before I die. And that's the reason why I haven't quit working for it. But what you said was very important, Amanda, that there are protest movements, and there always have been. In my own lifetime, I've seen the Ross Perot candidacy, then the Reform Party, and the Constitution Party, and all these things come and go. There's a need for the expression. There's a need to express that voice. People haven't had the direction, leadership, or the program to do it. If you understand my phrase, there is nothing out there that they've been able to latch onto that's been successful, because it's always getting hijacked or ruined internally. The funny thing about the Libertarian Party is that we've managed to exist for 54 years now, and we're still around. That's kind of unheard of in politics. I mean, in modern politics, that's an accomplishment in itself. Yeah. So let's up the ante. Let's figure this out and figure out a way to get all these other people that would be libertarians or would help or want something like this, bring them on board and follow us. That's leadership, right? It's follow me. It's not go there. It's let's follow us, and let's see where this takes us.
Arguably, the Libertarian Party's been around longer than either of the two major parties if we think about principles alone, right?
Yeah, they're always changing.
Yeah, they're always shifting that. And it's so funny that when you try to read literature on minor parties, I did this this past year, my last year of grad school, that if you try to do a lit review of research on minor parties, nobody will even talk about the Libertarian Party. Nobody will talk about existing minor parties because they're threats. The only thing that you see is stuff about like the Progressive Party. Oh, but the Progressive Party died. And since then, there hasn't really been another, minor party that's been, they just completely, they stop at 1950 or 1960. And so usually it's only about these sort of single issue parties, if we can call them that become caucuses. This is the Libertarian Party actually has an immense power, as demonstrated by the fact that nobody seems to want to talk about it in research or in politics, anything else.
Yep, absolutely true.
And the grassroots movements in the United States are strong. They've just kind of fizzled out because look at the Grange movement. It was or the early Socialist Party in the United States in the early part of the 20th century. They had their moments, they collapsed, and then you get further along down the line, and then you've had Dixiecrats, you've had liberal Democrats, you've had, like in Minnesota, Democratic Farmer Labor, Independent Republicans. You've had all these things, and they always get consumed by the main message. The fact that we are still an independent party, the fact that we still exist, is nothing but a base to move forward on. We've done a lot of work, and like I said, what I like about my own idea, obviously, is that it will hopefully bring members back into supporting us that have lapsed, that have left the party, or people that were on the fringe for 5 years. Yeah, let's go back. Took a retirement like I did in 2015. Yes, it's time to come back. This is the plan. It's focused. It's a purpose. It's got a concrete goal. It's a strategy, and it's grassroots. It can be entirely it needs to be an entirely grassroots. County affiliate up is where I prefer to do it. So,
yeah, you do at the same time need, I think, that at least the national committee's direction, helping to coordinate, right? And I think that's where you get a little bit of tension. Because nobody likes to be micromanaged. And when people hear about the LNC coordinating things, it can easily sound like that. Yeah, sorry.
Amanda knows that that's a lie because I love being micromanaged. That's all
Kyle
I get
does, but Kyle's very strange.
We'll make a note of that.
Yeah. It's the only way that Kyle ever does anything is just micromanaging him.
It's true.
What needs to happen in order to get this off the ground? Obviously, you need an LNC that's going to be supported. But what else in terms of implementation? How does this look?
My next paper, I hope, will be written, and then I'll figure it out when I write it as far as the step-by-step. My next step, besides the next paper, is talk about it. The First Real Sepia Club. Talk about Sepia Club. Let's talk about this project and promote it and see where I will be hopefully getting some feedback from people on this podcast Hopefully some people can contact me through my website. I'll be contacting people elsewhere. I'm not sure if I would run for the LNC as I might do it just to promote the idea and see and see if the party would take it and they get wrong with it. I don't have to be involved. The idea is free. It's out here now. I can't undo an idea, but I think it's a better idea than we've had. It's a better idea that I've ever had for helping the parties to do this. So, explore, do the research on what states are vulnerable to, not vulnerable, opportunity arises for the electorate to have a libertarian amendments project within its own elections as libertarians. A little more research on that part. Build relationships. I've said before, I'll say it again. Politics, you succeed by building friends and allies, making friends, making allies. That's how you go forward, and that's my next step. Well, telling you two were the first two I told about it. So they'll two friends and so on and so on.
Yeah.
And this is a great medium, and I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I was going to end, not to put you on the spot, maybe afterward we'll talk, because I was thinking as I was looking at this would actually be great to publish on The Torch, which is our journal, and that way you get a little bit more visibility as you write more and more proposals. That would be a good way to just have that, that literature out there on another platform.
Yes, go for launch.
Absolutely, thank you. Sorry, Kyle, were you going to say something?
It's fine, don't worry about it.
No? Okay. The thing that I love is that even if unsuccessful, right, this still gets a whole bunch of media attention. And there is the possibility that this could be deterred by bad action, at the federal or other political level, in which case that also galvanizes people to, to make a change. 33 states. Have you given any thought to which states are the most likely to take this up?
We're doing research on that in Sepia Club. I haven't narrowed them down. I would figure that, well, it depends on what amendments we're looking at. It would take some polling eventually, which takes money, but that's not now. That's, next year. But the research we can easily do online, and we can wash it through some AI bots, and my people will be working on it, and I'm hoping more people will help do their own. I would like a whole bunch of people to, we could start a dedicated blog to it. Call it our amendment papers, right? Redo the whole debate from
Absolutely.
237 years ago. Let's talk about it.
We get to get a jump with the anti-federalist papers starting first this time.
Yeah. And another first steps. I'm considering an LNC run. I'm not sure if I'm going to, but this would be my project that I would do. And if I were successful there, I would carry it forward in that capacity. And if I'm not, I'll just be a libertarian working for it. But no matter what, I hope some people pick up on it and run with it, whether it involves me or not, because I really think this can be the vehicle to do it.
Well, it's your brainchild, so hopefully you would be involved in it. And it gets people excited about writing again, which I always like. If people think that they're writing a founding document, I don't know, it puts the pressure on to do it well. So there is that.
And some of the intellectual forefathers or justifications we have for it. Jefferson, you have to write down the grievances you have that cause you to want to act. The document of the Mayflower Compact. Why are we here, right? This is why are we here? What are we going to do? And how are we going to do it? We could have this whole discussion heading now into the third decade of the 21st century. Where do we go from here? We've gotten this far. It hasn't worked out. Where do we go from here? And Article 5 of the Constitution itself says this is available to us. Let's see the opportunity.
It is a revolutionary project, especially coming up on the 250th anniversary, not of the Constitution, but of the nation's founding. It seems timely. It seems like the timeline alone picks up a few extra, I think, percentage points of support for it.
I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, it's the spirit of the age, right? Let's revolt peacefully. Again, you've heard me say this in private, in our own conversations. Revolutions happen before civil wars. If it gets to civil war, it's too late. Maybe we don't want that entirely to be complete change, but we want it to be peaceful. We don't want a civil war. No one benefits. And we don't
Right.
want world war. No one will benefit. We can set the world free with a peaceful, nonviolent revolution by just, excuse me, pen and paper. We can do it. Let's do it. It's a lot less expensive and it's a lot less bloody.
It, I we need to rehost the paper somewhere. Once we have this rehosted to the Torch, etc. We can send this out to everybody as a link so that people can download and read the PDF for themselves. Is it up on Sepia Club yet, or?
It is. I'm going to send you my website right now. If I can type, there's my website.
Kyle
It's
can
linked.
post links in, so or Kyle
Yeah,
can comment with links. We can't. So
Yeah, I sent you a private chat. There you go. Check it out. SippyClub.com. I hope I spelled. Yes, I spelled that right.
This is a relatively short document to get everybody through it. It's only like 2.5 pages long.
I try to keep it short, but it got a little long for what I wanted. But it was a decent start. And there'll be more to come, and I hope people do their own writing about it, for or against.
Absolutely.
Poke holes in it, or run with it on your own. Any more ideas, the better. But the focus is, we know what the focus is. Let's make a game plan.
Absolutely. So obviously we'll be sending this out through all the LPA channels. I assume Amanda will post to the Torch. I don't post things to the Torch because that's a mistake. If I do, Amanda will
posted
find
one
me.
thing to the Torch.
No, I didn't.
I guess I posted that for you. That's right.
Correct.
And edited it for you.
I don't touch.
You don't touch the words. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I don't have my own website either. I have my friend do that. My club member is. It's better.
I build website. She put article up. Right, article.
It's a good division of labor. You don't want to switch those. You don't want to cross those wires at all. Yeah.
I don't word good.
Sorry, go on, Tim.
I was gonna say, I have a question. Where do you think I should go with this? Let's hear your opinions. Flip the audience around. I'm interviewing you now. What should I do? What can I do? What can we do? Where should we go?
We have a solid number of LNC contacts. We have a lot of folks who are paying attention to streams routinely. A couple hundred people have already been watching tonight. And we can send it out over socials. We can make sure it's on the Torch so the people who are reading the Torch can see it, etc. Like there's a lot of stuff we can get done here to get it out in front of people. I think that the next order of business is to get the states on board from my point of view. So if we can get basically a blast out to every state chair and get the states to talk about it, and some of the state social medias to talk about it, so that we can start getting momentum behind it. That's where I see like the best option going, because at the end of the day, right? Like we can post our socials, you can post your socials, and that's maybe a few thousand people. But if every single one of the affiliates, or even 3/4 of the affiliates, or let's say 33 affiliates, decide to post about it, suddenly we have tens of thousands of people seeing it. We have, in some cases, maybe hundreds of thousands of people seeing it. And if they're putting out press releases and everything else, we could have this start to be something that people are seeing in papers and online and everything else, so that we can get actual momentum behind it.
Town halls, op-ed blitzes. Reese, if you're still watching this is a place where Wisconsin can lead. This is a Wisconsin-grown idea, so let's do it.
Homegrown, and just to make sure, I want this to be the Libertarian Party idea. It's Civic Club just offered it, but it belongs to the party now, and I see nobody else wanting to do it. So I really want to see at least I really want to see the discussion happen, because and I'm very, very, very thankful that you had me on here, and all the support that you've given me so far and going forward.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah, I think this is an opportunity too for states to coalition together, right? So you're saying, what can people do? I would love to see state XComs talking to one another and pooling together members, right? And having Zoom calls, having these discussions with the membership, talking about how best to go about launching this initiative. And as I said, op-ed blitzes. I love direct action, so I love demonstrations. I love getting in the streets. There's definitely a place for that as well. Canvassing. There was actually several years back, I think it's back when I was living in Alexandria, so it was an age ago, there was a call for, actually it might have even been Chicago, but there was a call for a convention of states that never really got anywhere. And so there's every now and then this momentum crops up and then dies. So there is some hunger out there if we're able to harness it. And it would be great to see the Libertarian Party do that. People talk often about how the founding fathers, however much truth there is to this, were libertarian minded, right? And it certainly does honor to the spirit of the founding, however imperfectly actuated, to refound. And as someone who studies Machiavelli, the idea of refounding is, of course, very near and dear to me. I know that you're a student of his as well. So,
yeah, absolutely. And one thing that I also think this provides the country in this quote peaceful, nonviolent, revolutionary way to avoid further a mess down the road is, I guess I'm enough of I believe in realism, legitimacy, stability, and the balance of interest.
Mhm.
And I think this provides people within the party and all the factions a way to come together. I think it provides the country itself a way to come together, the several states to integrate themselves and assert themselves into that balance of interest that we need for federalism, to keep the authoritarians away and to increase freedom. It also can, it's a good way to limit government to increasing liberty and let business and markets create profit for the people. However you want to inversely proportion that, right? It helps us limit the size of government and increase freedom. It's a no-brainer solution for a libertarian movement to go with these things. I don't know what the end result will be, because when they wrote the original Constitution, it was basically a document to finance the debt long term.
Mm-hmm.
That was the reason they rewrote why they were supposed to revise the Articles of Confederation. So maybe at this stage of life, we find out that we need to refinance our debt. It might be a way to sell it to some people on the business side, right? Our country has an unsustainable debt. Do we want the country to survive and thrive? Maybe we need this as well. So there's many angles to play for it, but again, realism, interest, balance of interest, stability, legitimacy. I think it keeps all that intact and it keeps us alive at the end, and that's the most important thing. Keep this thing together and keep it from flying apart any further than it has. And hopefully that. And let me also say, I believe in democracy. That's not a very popular thing with libertarians, but I think people have the right to vote. And when democracy is in trouble, the solution is more democracy. I believe that as well. Maybe in the system of federalism, we could write in, well, maybe democracy from the bottom up. Maybe we have a participatory democracy where everything is voted on by a supermajority. Maybe we need for local government. Maybe we write that into the other concern besides federal, state, and people. Maybe we have local governments involved in this, and maybe we even change the rules of how we make decisions. Maybe it's wide open. Everything is wide open here, and we can solve a lot of these problems with it.
I think it's the sort of thing also where a lot of great minds are better than one or two. And so to have a group of people collaborating together on how to implement this plan, how to initiate this project and keep it going is going to be key. So I'm excited for that too, because I like collaborative initiatives.
I would hope both of you would help me with the steering committee.
Would love to.
Absolutely.
Okay, I got my first.
A lot of folks in LPA would feel the same. So
excellent.
And Tim is not in like the main LPA Discord, but Tim is part of LP Solidarity, which is a sister group that is candidate support.
And happily doing it too. By the way, it's
Yeah.
impressive.
You've been very helpful, so thank you. It's very good to have you.
It's been really fantastic to watch people come together from all different types of ideological background, and with all different ideas of the things they want to work on, and say, "Hey, I'm doing this thing. Who wants to come with me?" And people be like, "Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. I'll come work with you." Like
Right.
it's it has the feeling of like a libertarian work forum, like a libertarian job post.
Gosh.
Libertarian
terrible.
basketball, right? A libertarian pickup basketball.
Yeah, it's every court's got some players waiting to play with the in-house rules they want to play with.
Right.
It's
No blood, no
it's
ball.
a lot of fun. Mhm.
Yeah.
So I really liked it.
Thank you for your support, and thank you for having me on the show.
Absolutely. And as you
anything
continue to
else?
draft these, please come back on and let us know so we can continue to pick on you. So
Indeed. Pick the idea apart. Oh, thank you, Kristen.
Kristen and Reese and several people have come in to give you support here too.
Thank you.
So everybody, make sure to join the Discord down below. We will make sure to keep you updated on what's going on with Tim. Make sure to go to sepiclub.com so that you can you can follow everything in first person.
they also do other great things too. They do you
Absolutely.
guys do you do reading initiatives, you do meetings and conferences. So it's a really, really great group.
And I hope to have you up here sometime for him.
Would love to.
I live far away from Madison, but everybody's welcome.
You can make the trek out.
Absolutely.
I think you live further from Atlanta though.
I live close to the Minneapolis airport. Get on a plane.
There we go.
We'll pick you up.
No
We'll pick you
excuses,
up.
Kaya.
Sounds
We'll
good.
make it. Where there's a will, there's a way.
One of my best friends just moved to Minneapolis, so I'll go crash her couch. And then also, everybody, make sure to support the LPA. That will help us with initiatives like working with Tim, like getting people to Grand Rapids and helping to pay for the Povertarians out there to get into place and have spots in hotel rooms and ways to get to convention so that everybody's voice gets to be heard. That's been a mission of LPA's from the very beginning. And literally everybody, you don't have to be someone that LPA agrees with for us to help you out. And if you're excited about getting involved in anything, like always, we're showing you places where you can do work. And any of the places we talk about, you'll be able to find with us. We have information about all of them out there. Come work with us. Catch everybody tomorrow for the business list.
Thanks,
Night,
guys.
everybody.
Great night.
Have a great show tomorrow. Thank you, guys.
Tim. Thank you, Tim.